Welcome to the bold analysis. If you check the social media corridors, you'll understand that since morning, there have been two news revolving around Muturi. That there are plans probably to apprehend him. And number two, that a censure motion will be presented when Parliament resumes session from recess. But then at around 10:30 a.m. in the morning, Odour, while addressing some residents of his constituency in Mugirango, threatening the censure motion, made a statement about the abduction of Muturi's son. And in condemning, he said Muturi's son was, arrested with some substance, or rather was misbehaving or somewhere in the bar, and that is why he was arrested. And so when I saw that information, remember, he was not presented in court. So I wonder, even if there is such a case, he should have been represented in court. Now that information came hot in the heels of a move to apprehend Muturi. Now, while that was happening, he also made some tribal rants about President Ruto's criticism.
Sasa tumekuwa na viongozi kutoka Mlima Kenya. Kwa mfano, 1963 president alitoka Mlima Kenya. Akakuja Moi akaongoza yake akaondoka. Tukarudi Mlima Kenya. Baadaye tena tukarudi Mlima Kenya. Sasa nyinyi viongozi wa some of the people from Mount Kenya region, and vizuri tuambie, why are you complaining so much? Na nyinyi mmekuwa kwa term na presidents tatu. Si hiyo shida zote mngetatua mkiwa na marais tatu, mumalize shida zenu. Because why is it that William ndiye amekuja ndio shida sasa mnaanza kukumbuka? Mnaanza kusema namna hii. Niliona waziri fulani akiita press, akicastigate president, akicastigate security agencies. The level of pretense that we have in this government, in this country, iko juu sana. Wewe ni cabinet secretary, unaketi kwa cabinet, unaketi na rais kila siku, unaongea na polisi kila siku, unaita press kulia juu ya polisi, Justin Muturi, na unajua sheria, ulikuwa speaker. Leo mimi nakuambia mbele ya watu wangu, ile kiboko tulipiga Gachagua ndio inakuja kwako. You resign ama nikutoe. Vile tuna resume bunge, because tuko na siku 14 ndio to resume bunge. Justin Muturi, you have 3 options. Ya kwanza, resign. Ya pili, apologize to ignore your maneno. Ya tatu, we impeach you. Tuna collect signatures, uende nyumbani. You cannot serve the government of Kenya yenye unalima kila siku. Ati yo maneno namna hii, sani yako anashikwa akifanya ukora, unasema ni abduction. Na wewe sani yako alipatikana kwa bar na vitu zingine za kufuta sijui nini, akashikwa. Fundisha mtoto wako maadili bwana.
The statement from Odour, whether intentional or just the crowd anxiety, is very critical at this moment. At a time that Muturi is demanding answers as to who abducted his son, what was the objective, and that the country needs to have a candid discussion around it. So after this, around 2:30 p.m., while coming from a city hotel in Nairobi, Muturi solely drove himself with a battery of journalists after his team dispatched information 30 minutes at around 2 that he will be at Kilimani police station. Kilimani police station is where the case of the son's abduction was presented. So he surrendered to the police, and that is the video you are seeing in your screen here. He surrendered to the police in Kilimani police station, not accompanied by his lawyers, who we understand were standby, and neither the son who was abducted. So immediately he arrived at Kilimani police station, he went to speak with the DCIO, and the media was locked out of that session. The act of going to the police station, to my end, is answering a question that Kenya Kwanza had been saying, that 6 months, those who recorded a statement were only the person who was abducted. But you as a person, and believes that the son is of 18 years, so the son can give a good account of what happened. So immediately he came out of the NIS, of the Kilimani police station. Muturi made this statement.
In obedience to the challenge that was thrown at me by the DCI to record a statement of what I knew, it was quite limited. It was to the extent of in respect of what I was told and what I did, the efforts I made with various security officers and apparatus. So the reason why I came here today is just to come and deliver that statement, in which I have given the details to the DCI here. Yes, self-recorded statement dated today. And that's why I was here. It was just merely to respond to the challenge thrown at me, because I have nothing to hide. It is a fact that my son had been abducted. It's also a fact that he was held in Communicando for several hours. And indeed, he was later released. But what I don't know by whom he had been abducted and by who he was held. But my statement with the DCI explains the various steps that I took to secure his release.
But I want you to take a minute, and I want us to look at the whole discussion, what Muturi did and how it transpired. Because at the end of it all, we will know, or rather we'll be able to see where exactly who is saying the truth. What is the whole truth about it? Muturi is saying that he received a call from the wife to the son, that is the daughter-in-law, informing him about the disappearance, the kidnapping, or the alleged arrest of Muturi's son. And he made effort and called the Inspector General of Police, Japhet Koome, who told him that he didn't know about any operation in that area. And then he made another call, he made another call to PS Raymond Omolo. PS Raymond Omolo promised to look into the matter of that abduction, but insisted that it could have been carjacking because they were not privy to such an operation on that area. So he went back to the IG, Japhet Koome, by then. And Japhet Koome insisted that that was not it. He later got the contact of ATPU director. This is the statement is here. The statement is long. I cannot read all of it. He later got the statement from ATPU director, someone called Kiprotich, because he thought that it could have been there. It could have been done by them. And the phone did not go through. So he decided to call the DG of NIS directly, Nurdin Haji. That was in the night. But Nurdin Haji did not pick his call. The call went unanswered. This is what Muturi has told the police. He decided then to reach out to the deputy IG, and at this time the deputy IG also informed him, picked the call, but informed him that they will look into the matter, but they were not so much aware of it. So a CCTV footage from Citizen TV, they called the Citizen TV CEO Wachira Waruru to give them a CCTV footage that Citizen had gotten around that area. So that CCTV footage was availed, and that is what was being shared online. But they were not still able to trace where the car was. Then he saw the president. Then he texted the president. He decided to text the president, but the president did not. He actually called the president. The president did not receive. Then he did a text which was not responded to. So he tried reaching out to the NIS, but the next day he got a confirmation message from the NIS that his son was being held by the NIS. That is what is told to the police. Now he decided then to call Kindiki. All along hakuampigia Kindiki. He called Kindiki, and Kindiki promised to call the DG so that the DG will give information. And the DG told Kindiki that they are not holding the son, despite the fact that he had told him that he had promised the father, Muturi, that he was holding the son. So all that didn't happen until the next day, Sunday, after President came to Statehouse after attending a church service in Nyandarua. He went to Statehouse and told the president asked William Ruto whether Ruto had seen his message. And Ruto said that he had not seen the message because his phone had crashed. All along, he had not seen the message. So president looked for his technical guy and his phone was fixed. So the president called the NIS Director General, and over the phone, Muturi is saying, you ever heard NIS saying they were holding the son? From that moment, president ordered the son to be released. And that is how Muturi's son was released. That is the statement that Muturi has given to the police. So, since then, he's been asking, and I think even that press briefing was directing to NIS General about what happened. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the long and short of it. The presser is supposed to give you a hint, looking into Muturi's abduction, what exactly is happening. And there is a long shot in it. The daggers have been drawn. It really came out. I want to react into this debate, this narrative. I want to say it this way. Today in the morning, Gladys Boss-Sholei was in Citizen TV. And there is something that she said, and rather that is the standpoint of Kenya Kwanza, that if you are abducted, you are supposed to go and write a statement. Then the police can start investigation from there. And one thing I'm wondering, even if Muturi is to write a statement, Muturi was not abducted. So Muturi doesn't know. Maybe he was not the person who was abducted there. So how can someone who is abducted know where he was and who abducted him? Who is this person that wants to abduct you and still tell you where he's taking you? You know, this thing is a bit vague. This thing is a bit vague because it is not really what we want to say. It is very vague. And it is not very clear the way we are saying it. And we are not honest about that discussion. Muturi have now gone there to give a statement. And I realized that this casting aspersion, of course, this blame game and Muturi profile seem to be a well-coordinated narrative. Kafogo, a man who I believe will be least, person least to crash, even attack Muturi. So I realized Kafogo also was making a blanket condemnation of Muturi addressing or rather confronting the president in a press briefing while he sits in cabinet.
About collective responsibility. That is the issue, the whole world, where collective responsibility is supposed to be. Excuse me, Mr. Speaker. And you talked about a recent situation where a minister of government came out and broadcasted dissent or his dissatisfaction on the issue of abductions. And I simply, from where I sit, and you said I'm a politician, I'm more a leader than a politician, because the politician thinks about the next election. and the leader thinks about the next generation. So I belong to that other side. But from where I sit, that was very irresponsible of the Honorable J.B. Muturi, if I may say so, Speaker, without saying more. If I was or I were on his position or in his position, I would have taken my dissent to the appointing authority. And if I was afraid of facing the appointing authority, I would go to cabinet and air it there. And if I'm not satisfied, tender my resignation. I resign because I don't believe in what the government is doing. And
I want to say this. We are making blanket attack on Muturi without understanding what exactly is going on, because, and he mentioned, Muturi mentioned, he acknowledged when he was making a speech that, I understand the blanket, the doctrine of collective responsibility, and I understand that he's a member of cabinet and this matters has to be raised. But what politicians are selectively ignoring is he said that has talked to the police bosses and has been demanding answers from different officers and has not been able to find an answer. I saw some politicians saying, and that was even sort of saying, that he sits in cabinet. So why is he not raising it in cabinet? Now, let me wait here. Even if Muturi was to go to cabinet and tell the president about abduction, what was the president going to do, or what will be the difference, even if in that place, even if he comes out and says, these young people wanted to overthrow my power, these young people are disrespectful. Already the president has given his stand and his verdict in the whole discussion. So this, this good looking and something this statement we're just making because we feel like it is comfortable to say so, but in real sense we are not fair to this discussion. It is not that Muturi could not raise it in cabinet, but even raising it in cabinet, if President Ruto has been defending the police whenever there is a problem, so was Ruto going to help this situation? I doubt. So the attack on him, to me, does not make sense. Now, why did Muturi decide to submit to police at this time? I know there is a question that is running in your mind that 6 months after the son is abducted, he raised the point. When the country asked him to resign or face some impeachment motion, he's decided to go to the police station to write a statement, or probably to follow up. I want to believe two things, maybe to follow up or to write a statement. But the act of walking to that police station, he's already sending a signal that I'm willing to be a civilian. He's walked to that police station himself. And again, is getting the media attention with him. The act of now going to that police station, that is what we want the parents of those who are abducted to do, probably. He's now gone to that police station. And now, there is that which I think is going on here. The statement by Osoro that Muturi's son was involved in some illicit activity in a club could form part of the statement that Muturi is taking to the police. If Osoro is the chief whip in the National Assembly, and sometimes, I don't know, Kenya Kwanza, if there is a problem, in Kenya Kwanza is just verbal diarrhea. We just vomit things probably are not specific about. I may not be shocked to realize probably when a charge sheet leaks out that Muturi is demanding an answer, or rather is demanding the police to arrest Osoro so that Osoro can explain. And I think it should be rightfully so. See, Muturi asked what happened, and Osoro seemed to have an answer. He's saying, the child was in some bar, I don't drinking alcohol and this and that. Why was he not taken to court? So that discussion, that could form part of the statement Muturi is giving the police. The second thing is this. Onyonka also said in the morning that he had a personal talk with Muturi, and Muturi told him mind-blowing account of what he knows about the son's abduction. Something that Onyonka said he cannot say in camera. So I want to believe this. Even before Muturi made a press briefing demanding answers, he had a glimpse of what is happening. Muturi is not an ordinary. This was Attorney General and then a CS. He has a glimpse of what was happening behind the scene. So he's just looking to, he just triggered that conversation to see how the people are going to react. But he seemed to have an idea of what is happening if you take cognizance of the statement from Onyonka. The other thing is gathering evidence to sue the state. That is another option. And this is also one thing that was there, that he might actually go and sue the state, seeking evidence. And he might want to go to look. Now, police said the file is active. That is what police say, that the investigation file is active. So he has gone there to seek that file and to tell, okay, fine, you said the file is active. Where so far have you reached the investigations? What is the information at your disposal? So that is one thing that is here, gathering more evidence. The other thing is counter the impeachment motion. If he gathers what the police is doing, what the state has done, he will use that to counter the impeachment motion that is ripe and any time is supposed to be presented in Parliament when Parliament resumes session. So it would have, but I think to me, angegoja kama ni kushikwa angeshikwa, I think that would have made more news. That would have made very big news than even presenting himself on presenting himself on that.